the only plant that unclogs your arteries and eliminates high cholesterol. You are about to discover a truth that has been hidden for decades. A silent threat may be forming inside your body right now. No pain, no warning, no symptoms, and what seemed to be under control maybe isn't. But what if there were a natural, ancient, powerful, and accessible ally capable of acting directly on your cardiovascular system? We're not talking about miracles. We're talking about science, tradition, and daily choices that can change the course of your health and maybe your life. What you're about to hear may go against common sense. It may surprise you, and it may transform you. So welcome to another episode of 𝙘𝙤𝙤𝙀𝙧, where you'll discover the only plant that unclogs your arteries and eliminates high cholesterol. And more than that, you'll get first-hand answers essential for maintaining your health from one of the most respected doctors out there, Dr. Tanaka. I'd like to start our conversation with a question that seems simple, but very few people can answer clearly. What exactly is high cholesterol, and why is it so dangerous if, most of the time, a person doesn't even feel anything?
That's an excellent question to kick off our chat. Cholesterol is actually an essential substance for the body. But when we talk about high cholesterol, especially LDL cholesterol, we're talking about something treacherous. It silently builds up in the walls of the arteries, forming plaques that gradually narrow the passageway for blood. And the scariest part is that it doesn't cause obvious signs or direct symptoms until something serious happens, like a heart attack or a stroke.
So, a person could have their arteries being slowly blocked and still live life normally, thinking everything's fine.
Exactly. We often call this a silent time bomb. You keep accumulating fat in the arteries over years, and many times you only find out when significant damage has already been done. The blood starts having trouble circulating, especially in vital areas like the heart and brain. And because this happens slowly and gradually, a lot of people ignore the indirect signs, like unusual fatigue or leg pain.
It's like the body is screaming, but in a language we haven't learned how to understand yet, right? And the craziest part is that behind it all are choices we make every single day without even noticing.
For sure. Food, stress, lack of exercise. Everything contributes to this buildup of bad cholesterol. And the curious thing is, even with all the medical technology we have today, high cholesterol is still one of the leading preventable causes of death in the world. It's scary to think about that. And worse, many people only discover their arteries are clogged after a scare or a tragedy.
It's that classic case of you can't judge an artery by its cover, right? Sometimes someone's thin, active, but inside their arteries are in bad shape.
Exactly. A lot of people think high cholesterol is just a weight issue, but genetics, diet, and lifestyle play huge roles. I've seen young patients, apparently healthy, with arteries that looked like those of a 70-year-old smoker.
That's a serious warning, doctor, because if the problem is growing in silence, maybe the time to act is now, before we become part of that statistic.
That's exactly the point. The real danger of high cholesterol is that it hides. And that's why this conversation is so important. Because when you understand what's happening in your body, you gain the power to change the course of your health.
Dr. Tanaka, you said cholesterol builds up in the arteries over time. And that leads to the inevitable question, why is the heart usually the first to suffer when this blockage happens?
That's a very common and very understandable question. The heart isn't the origin of the problem, but it ends up paying the price first. The reason is simple. It has to pump blood all the time, non-stop, to every corner of the body. And to do that, it depends on clean, flexible, and unclogged coronary arteries.
So when those arteries get blocked, the heart has to work twice as hard without the proper structure for it.
Exactly. Imagine trying to fill a house with water using a clogged pipe. The heart has to pump harder to overcome the resistance, and that wears out this vital organ day after day. That's why many people with high cholesterol develop high blood pressure, arrhythmias, or even heart failure. It's a domino effect.
It's interesting how many people think the problem starts in the heart, when in reality the problem is in the highways where the blood should be flowing freely.
That's a crucial point. The heart's health depends on the blood vessels' health. And the good news is, when you protect those pathways, you protect the heart too. The reverse is also true. When arteries harden or narrow, the heart suffers, and suffers quietly, until it can't anymore.
And that's when the shocks come, right? Because a heart attack, for example, looks like it happens out of nowhere, but it was being built slowly, in silence.
Exactly. Many people think a heart attack is sudden and unpredictable, but in most cases, it's the final result of years of neglecting vascular health. Small fat plaques build up, get inflamed, rupture, and form clots. And if that clot blocks blood flow, the heart muscle suffers ischemia, meaning it's deprived of oxygen, and starts to die.
It's scary to imagine that happening inside, without us feeling it, and at the same time. It's a powerful call to start caring not just about what we feel, but also what we don't.
That's exactly it. Don't wait to feel something before you act. The heart is silent, but when it speaks, it's often too late. Prevention is always the best path, and that comes from daily choices: food, movement, rest, and awareness.
Dr. Tanaka, something that intrigues me is how today's diet seems directly linked to the rise in cardiovascular problems. What happened to our food that turned it, in many cases, into an enemy of our arteries?
That's a very important observation. Modern eating has gone through radical changes in recent decades. The rush of daily life has led people to choose more practical, quick, and industrialized foods. The problem is that this convenience comes with high doses of trans fats, refined oils, hidden sugars, and chemical additives. All of that is highly inflammatory and harmful to vascular health.
It's like we're creating a toxic environment inside the body, day after day, bite after bite, right?
Exactly. What few people realize is that those seemingly harmless food choices add up over time. That order of fries at lunch, the chips for a snack, the bacon at breakfast. Little by little, they create a silent invasion of bad fats in the body. The liver tries to handle the excess, but eventually it can't. And then LDL cholesterol rises, inflammation sets in, and the arteries begin to silently suffer.
And the worrying part is that many of those foods are socially accepted, everywhere, even in hospital and school cafeterias.
Exactly. And that shows the problem isn't just individual, but cultural. The food industry knows exactly how to make these products addictive, with crunchy textures, intense flavors, and attractive packaging. But the price we pay is high: an inflamed body, clogged arteries, and declining health.
I've heard doctors compare certain processed foods to slow poisons. Is that an exaggeration?
It's not an exaggeration. It's a harsh, but true way of calling attention. The human body wasn't made to handle this type of ultra-processed food, and the result is right there. Epidemics of obesity, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease in younger and younger people.
We worry about what we see on the news, but there's a war happening on the plate, and the worst part, we're losing.
Unfortunately, yes. But that's also where the solution lies. Because when you become aware of what you're eating and start making small changes, results come. The body is extremely smart and has an incredible capacity to regenerate, as long as you stop feeding it what's destroying it.
Dr. Tanaka, So far we've talked a lot about diet, but there are other habits that also contribute to artery suffocation. Right? Sometimes someone eats reasonably well, but keeps routines that are invisible enemies of the heart.
You're absolutely right. Lifestyle as a whole needs close attention. There's no point fixing the diet if someone remains sedentary, smokes a pack a day, sleeps poorly, and lives under chronic stress. All of that works like a silent attack on the cardiovascular system.
And there are people who think that if they're taking the right medication, they're already protected from those threats. But that's not really the case, right?
Not at all. Medications have their role, of course, but no pill replaces a true lifestyle change. It's like trying to put out a fire with a bucket of water while you keep feeding the flames. Cigarettes, for example, are one of the biggest villains. They damage the inner walls of blood vessels, make it easier for fat to accumulate, and lower oxygen levels in the blood. It's a dangerous cocktail.
And being sedentary, that's a sneaky one, because living without movement seems neutral. But in reality, it's a highly destructive habit.
Exactly. Sitting still too much is almost as dangerous as smoking. Blood circulates worse. Fat builds up more easily. The heart muscle weakens. And there's also excessive alcohol, which not only overloads the liver, but raises blood pressure and encourages triglyceride buildup. Many people underestimate the damage of just a few glasses every day.
And stress, that's the modern champion, right? Everyone's living on the edge, rushing, anxious, and that also directly impacts the arteries?
Absolutely. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, a hormone that, in excess, promotes inflammation, disrupts metabolism, and favors artery blockage. It also interferes with sleep, which in turn harms heart health. It's a chain of negative effects.
Doctor, what I'm understanding is that it's not enough to just eat right or take cholesterol meds. It takes a broader, more conscious effort to change the logic of daily life.
Exactly. There's no magic pill, but there are powerful choices. Every cigarette avoided, every step taken, every real meal, it all adds up in favor of your health. And the sooner you start, the greater the chance of avoiding serious complications in the future.
Dr. Tanaka, a lot of people hear that they need to exercise to improve heart health, but they immediately picture crowded gyms, heavy workouts, and that scares them. Is there a simpler, more realistic way to start moving and already see benefits?
Yes, and it's very important to say this. You don't need to run marathons to protect your arteries. The human body was made to move, and the simple act of walking, climbing stairs, or biking already activates mechanisms that improve circulation, lower bad cholesterol, and strengthen the cardiovascular system. The secret is consistency, not intensity.
So even if someone doesn't have time, money, or motivation for a gym, they can still start caring for their heart with really simple things?
Exactly. 10 minutes of walking in the morning, another 10 in the afternoon. That already makes a difference. When you move your body, you activate the muscle pump that helps blood circulate better. That prevents plaque buildup in the arteries and reduces inflammation. Plus, physical activity regulates blood pressure, improves endothelial function, and stimulates HDL production, the good cholesterol.
I like to think of movement as opening the windows of the body. More oxygen comes in. What's stuck gets out. Energy flows better. It's a silent cleaning.
That's an excellent image. Movement really does oxygenate, cleanse, and detoxify. And more than that, it also improves mood, sleep quality, and reduces stress. 3 factors that indirectly protect the arteries too. The heart, when it feels the body is active, responds with more strength and rhythm.
And there's also the effect on insulin, right? I've read that even a light walk after meals helps the body process blood sugar better.
Exactly. Post-meal exercise helps reduce blood sugar spikes, which prevents fat buildup in the vessels. And that's a simple, free habit, accessible to almost everyone. Choosing stairs instead of elevators, getting off one stop early, walking the dog. It all counts. The key is to move your body every day, in enjoyable ways.
So the secret isn't work out hard, it's move often. And if possible, with joy, right?
Absolutely. An active body means a protected heart. And when exercise stops being an obligation and becomes pleasure, the benefits go way beyond the physical. You feel more alive, more present, more connected to your own health. And that, to me, is real medicine.
Dr. Tanaka, there's something that always grabs my attention. Sometimes the biggest allies for our health are the simplest things. And I've heard a lot about certain seeds that help clean the blood. Is that true?
It's true, and it's fascinating. Some seeds, like flaxseed, chia, and sesame, are true gifts from nature for cardiovascular health. They're rich in soluble fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants that act directly to reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, and help keep the arteries cleaner and more flexible.
And how do these tiny little seeds manage to have all that power?
The secret is in their makeup. For example, flaxseed is rich in plant-based omega-3, which helps reduce inflammation in blood vessels. Chia forms a gel in the stomach thanks to its soluble fibers, which sweep up excess cholesterol and keep it from being absorbed in the gut. Sesame, in turn, contains lignans and vitamin E, which have antioxidant action and protect cells against premature aging.
I usually add a bit of chia and flaxseed to my morning yogurt or juice. Does that already make a difference?
It makes a big difference. Just 1 or 2 tablespoons a day is enough to start feeling the benefits. And the best part is that these seeds are easy to work into daily life. On salads, in smoothies, homemade bread, even mixed into soups or fruit. The key is consistency.
And is there any special recommendation to make the most of the nutrients? For example, grinding flaxseed before eating it?
Yes. Flaxseed should always be ground or crushed right before you eat it, because the shell is very tough and the body can't digest it well when it's whole. Chia can be soaked to form that gel, which is also excellent for the gut. Sesame can be lightly toasted, which brings out the flavor and releases nutrients better.
So these seeds don't just help clean the arteries, they also improve the gut, which is another big regulator of health. Right?
Exactly. A healthy gut helps control cholesterol, blood sugar, and even mood. And these seeds feed the good bacteria in the gut, creating a more balanced environment that resists inflammation. They're small, but they work on many fronts.
It's amazing how nature offers so many powerful things, and we just walk right past them at the supermarket without realizing what we're missing.
That's why talks like this are so valuable. When we understand the why behind choices, it gets much easier to put them into practice. And these seeds are a clear example. Simple, accessible, and with a real impact on heart health.
Dr. Tanaka, you've talked a lot about seeds and healthy fats. But there's another food group that always sparks curiosity: fruit. Which ones do you personally make sure to include day to day, and which do you most recommend to your patients?
Great question. Some fruits have an extremely powerful effect on protecting blood vessels. The secret is their high concentration of antioxidants, fiber, and natural anti-inflammatory compounds. Among the ones I recommend most are purple grapes, strawberries, and blueberries, all rich in anthocyanins, which help reduce inflammation and strengthen artery walls.
Purple grapes, for example, are famous for resveratrol, right? I've seen lots of studies linking it to longevity.
Exactly. Resveratrol is one of the most studied natural compounds when it comes to cardiovascular health. It helps relax blood vessels, improves circulation, and fights the free radicals that age cells. It's even one reason why moderate red wine shows up in some research as a protective factor, though ideally, you get that benefit straight from the fruit.
And red berries, like strawberries and blueberries, are also known for that antioxidant effect, right?
Yes. They help reduce levels of oxidized LDL, which is exactly the most dangerous kind of cholesterol, the one that causes real damage to arteries. Plus, these fruits improve insulin resistance and help regulate blood pressure. Blueberries are so potent that some studies have labeled them a superfruit for heart health.
Now tell me this, do you need to eat large amounts? Or can you feel the effects with moderate portions?
You can, yes. A small portion, eaten regularly, is enough to reap the benefits. It could be a handful of blueberries at breakfast, a glass of unsweetened 100% grape juice in the afternoon, or a few strawberries as dessert. The important thing is consistency. And of course, avoid eating these fruits with refined sugar, like in processed sweets.
And besides protecting the arteries, they also give you a boost in energy and mood. It's like taking care of the heart and mind at the same time, right?
No doubt. A natural, antioxidant-rich diet affects the whole body. You feel more energetic, clearer mentally, less bloated, and your heart thanks you. Fruits like these are a tasty, smart way to build health day by day, and the best part, no downside.
I like to joke that if the body were a luxury car, these fruits would be the premium fuel, and we need to fill up well if we want to keep going for many years.
Excellent analogy. Investing in antioxidant-rich fruits is like preventive maintenance for your arteries. It's a small choice that brings deep, long-lasting results.
Dr. Tanaka, something I see often is that green veggies tend to get pushed aside on people's plates. But at the same time, in every healthy eating study, they're front and center. What's so special about these leafy vegetables?
You hit a key point. Dark green veggies like spinach, kale, arugula, and broccoli are true natural medicines. They contain a very interesting substance called natural nitrate, which, when metabolized in the body, turns into nitric oxide, a compound essential for artery health.
Nitric oxide? A lot of people have never heard of that. What does it do in the body?
Nitric oxide has a noble job. It relaxes and dilates blood vessels, making it easier for blood to pass and lowering blood pressure. When your vessels are flexible, blood circulates better, the heart works with less strain, and the risk of blockages drops considerably. It's like lubricating the whole system.
It's amazing to think that a serving of kale or spinach can help your arteries run more smoothly. That totally changes how we see salad on the plate.
Exactly. Many people underestimate green vegetables because they're simple. But it's exactly in that simplicity that their strength lies. Besides nitrates, they're rich in magnesium, potassium, fiber, and antioxidants, all elements that protect against inflammation and help keep cholesterol levels in check.
And is there a special way to prepare these veggies so you don't lose nutrients? Because sometimes people overcook and think they're eating well.
That's a great point. Ideally, eat these veggies raw or lightly steamed. When you boil for too long or over-saute, you lose a good share of the active compounds. A good example is raw kale blended with lemon juice and a bit of apple. Something simple that delivers a solid dose of natural nitric oxide.
Thinking about people's routines, would you say adding one serving of green veggies a day already makes a real difference?
It does. One daily serving is enough to keep a steady production of nitric oxide and improve vascular health. And it has a cumulative effect. The more consistent the intake, the better the body responds. It's like fueling a system every day that depends on these nutrients to run efficiently.
I'd say that after all this, no one's going to look at a plate of greens the same way. These veggies are literally the lubricants of our arteries.
That's a perfect image. They help blood flow lightly, lower blood pressure, and prevent silent blockages. They're indispensable allies for anyone who wants to age with vitality and a healthy heart.
Dr. Tanaka, when it comes to healthy fat, there's an ingredient many people have heard of but still don't value enough day to day: extra virgin olive oil. Why is it so special when it comes to protecting the heart?
That's a great pick for our conversation, because extra virgin olive oil is a true protective shield for the arteries. It's loaded with monounsaturated fatty acids, especially oleic acid, which helps lower LDL cholesterol while raising HDL, the so-called good cholesterol.
So it not only reduces what harms you, it strengthens what protects you. A rare balance, right?
Exactly. But what makes olive oil even more special are its phenolic compounds, powerful antioxidants that fight chronic inflammation in blood vessels. Studies show that regular olive oil intake is linked to fewer serious cardiac events, like heart attacks and strokes. And look, there's no need to drink olive oil. 2 tablespoons a day already offer notable protective effects.
Now, doctor, there's a lot of confusion about types of olive oil. What exactly does extra virgin mean? And why does it matter?
Excellent question. Extra virgin is the highest quality olive oil, cold extracted, with no chemicals or heating. That preserves the natural antioxidants and nutrients. Refined or lower quality oils go through processes that strip away much of those beneficial compounds. So yes, choosing extra virgin makes all the difference, especially for therapeutic purposes.
And is there an ideal way to use olive oil? Can it be heated? Or does that compromise its properties?
Good question. Extra virgin olive oil can be lightly heated, especially briefly and at moderate temperatures. But if the goal is to preserve antioxidants as much as possible, the ideal is to use it raw, in salads, over cooked veggies, on finished soups, or even on bread. A personal tip: I like to mix a drizzle of olive oil with lemon and turmeric to dress cooked vegetables. Besides being tasty, it becomes a natural anti-inflammatory.
That sounds delicious, and it seems like a simple habit to keep, right? Just swap processed butters or other bad oils for olive oil and start getting real benefits.
Absolutely. It's one of the smartest swaps someone can make for cardiovascular health. Simple, accessible, and with very positive cumulative effects over time. When olive oil becomes routine, the heart feels the difference.
We always hear that health starts in the kitchen. And with an oil like this, the kitchen turns into almost a prevention clinic.
Perfect. With the right daily choices, we prevent diseases that often seemed inevitable. And olive oil is a clear example of that. Flavor, nutrition, and medicine in a single ingredient.
Dr. Tanaka, throughout our talk you've mentioned the role of silent inflammation in clogging arteries. And there's a spice that's been getting a lot of buzz as a powerful natural anti-inflammatory, turmeric. Does it really deserve that title?
No doubt. Turmeric, also known as curcuma or ground turmeric, is one of the most powerful natural substances against chronic inflammation. It contains an active compound called curcumin, which works on multiple fronts in the body. It reduces inflammation, protects cells from oxidative damage, and helps prevent fatty plaque buildup in the arteries.
So it doesn't just act on the symptom. It also attacks the root of the problem, the inflammation that leads to vessel blockage.
Exactly. And what's most interesting is that turmeric has a systemic effect. It doesn't just act on the heart, but throughout the body. From the brain to the gut, through the joints. But when we talk cardiovascular health, it stands out for lowering inflammatory markers in the blood and improving endothelial function, meaning the artery's ability to relax and expand.
Now, doctor, a lot of people take turmeric on its own and might not be absorbing all the benefits. Is there a right way to consume it?
Great point. Curcumin on its own has low bioavailability. The body struggles to absorb it. But when combined with black pepper, which contains piperine, and a healthy fat, like olive oil or coconut milk, absorption rises significantly. I usually suggest something simple, a golden tea before bed, made with plant milk, turmeric, black pepper, and a small drizzle of coconut oil.
Wow! Besides being functional, it sounds comforting. One of those rituals that care for the body and mind at the same time.
That's exactly it. Creating these small daily rituals is a way of bringing medicine into your routine. And once the habit sets in, the body responds with more vitality, less pain, more energy. Turmeric is a precious tool on this journey to protect your arteries.
And maybe the most curious part is realizing that in a simple yellow root, we've got an ally as powerful as many synthetic medications.
Yes. And what fascinates me is that modern science is just confirming what many traditional cultures have known for centuries. Turmeric has long been revered in Indian and Asian medicine, and today we have clinical studies proving its positive impact on inflammation, cholesterol, and even in preventing neurodegenerative diseases.
Doctor, after hearing all this, it's clear that it's not just about adding a spice to your food. It's about making choices that literally change the destiny of our health.
Exactly. Turmeric is just one example of the power in the right foods. But there's something even more surprising I want to share. A common, accessible plant with an even more direct impact on unclogging arteries. But I'll tell you about that in the next chapter.
Dr. Tanaka, throughout this conversation you've shared so many natural and effective ways to protect the heart that it makes me want to renovate the entire pantry. But I'll admit I'm curious about what you just mentioned. Is there really a plant even more powerful than turmeric?
Yes, there is. And the most interesting thing is that we're not talking about some exotic, rare, or expensive plant. Quite the opposite. It's extremely accessible. It's been known for thousands of years, and it's present in kitchens all over the world. But before revealing it, it's important to understand why it stands out so much.
Now I'm even more curious, because if we've already seen so much effectiveness in seeds, fruits, green vegetables, and even spices, what more could this plant offer?
It's different because it works on three key fronts at the same time. It reduces inflammation in the arteries, lowers bad cholesterol, and dissolves small fat plaques that have already formed. Very few natural foods have such a complete profile. And the fascinating part is that it does this without harming the body, without side effects, and with a long history of medicinal use.
It's like it's a complete medicine from nature, right? But tell me this, why haven't you said what it is yet? Strategic suspense?
Laughs. A little bit, yes. But also because it's important to give context. A lot of people expect a magic solution, and I always like to remind them that no plant works miracles on its own. It can be extremely effective, yes, but only within a lifestyle that supports health, good food, movement, sleep, and emotional balance. When all of that comes together, this plant becomes a true trump card.
So the secret lies not just in the plant itself, but in the soil where it's going to act, which is our body, right?
Exactly. The body needs to be receptive for the active compounds to work. And that's why conversations like this are so valuable. We prepare the ground, build awareness, and only then reap the results. Literally. This plant is like the cherry on top, or better, the root of the cake.
Now, Doctor, I don't mean to rush you, but you've prepared the ground so well that I think the entire audience is ready to find out. Can we reveal it in the next chapter?
Absolutely. It's time to reveal this extraordinary plant, which has been saving hearts for centuries, and which can, in a natural and accessible way, transform the health of anyone who makes it part of their routine. In the next chapter, we'll talk about it in detail, how it works, why it's effective, and how to use it the right way.
So here's the invitation. In the next chapter, you'll discover the only plant capable of unclogging arteries and lowering cholesterol naturally and effectively. An episode that could change the way you care for your heart. We've reached the most anticipated moment of this conversation. And as Dr. Haruki Tanaka hinted at in the last chapter, there is a simple, accessible plant with extraordinary power to lower bad cholesterol, reduce vessel inflammation, and dissolve fatty plaques built up in the arteries. Its name is short, straightforward, and very familiar: garlic.
That's right. If there's a natural medicine against artery blockage, it's called garlic. And we're not talking about folk beliefs or alternative solutions without proof. There are several clinical studies showing that the active compounds in garlic, especially allicin, have proven effects in lowering LDL cholesterol, while also helping to keep arteries more flexible and healthy.
It's impressive how something so common can be so powerful. And what has science discovered so far about the mechanism of this substance called allicin?
Allicin is released when garlic is crushed, chopped, or pressed. It has antioxidant, antibacterial, antiviral, and, what interests us here, anti-inflammatory and vasodilating effects. That means it improves blood flow, lowers blood pressure, and helps keep cholesterol from sticking to artery walls. Over time, regular garlic consumption can even help dissolve existing plaques.
Now, Doctor, a common question: is there a right way to consume garlic to get these effects? Some people cook it. Others eat it raw.
That's a good question. Raw garlic preserves allicin best, but many people have trouble with the strong taste. An interesting way is to chop a clove of garlic, let it rest for about 10 minutes, which activates allicin formation, and then mix it with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, for example, and put it over a salad or a finished soup. That softens the flavor and combines two great heart allies in one dish.
Simple, effective, and natural. A true pharmacy in your kitchen. And the best part, without the side effects of medication.
Exactly. Of course, in more serious cases, medical supervision and medication may be necessary. But adding garlic as a daily habit is one of the smartest and most preventive steps you can take. And ideally, it should be part of a healthy lifestyle with good nutrition, physical activity, and stress management.
Dr. Tanaka, I want to thank you so much for such a rich and transformative conversation. What we've learned here today really can save lives.
Thank you. If this conversation helps even one person take better care of their heart, it will have been worth it. And remember, health starts with the small decisions we make every day.
And for you who followed this interview up to now, I have an important message. Don't leave the video just yet. Because even though our conversation with Dr. Tanaka has come to an end, the practical part starts now. I'm going to show you, in a simple and direct way, which habits you can adopt starting today to improve your artery health, lower cholesterol, and take a real step toward a longer, more vibrant life. So stay with me, because what comes next could be your turning point. Number 19, cultivating a routine with breaks. The conversation with Dr. Tanaka was truly enlightening. As always, he brought important insights that are easy to put into practice. One of the things that caught my attention the most was when he talked about the frantic pace of our daily lives and how it directly affects the heart. Many times, we worry about what we eat, about what we drink, but we forget to look at how we live. And that's where the danger lies. Daily overload can be silent, but extremely dangerous. Creating a routine with breaks is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Throughout the day, our body and mind need moments to breathe, literally. That break can be just 5 minutes between one task and another. A moment to stand up, stretch the body, drink water, or simply close your eyes for a while. These small pauses make a huge difference in how the body functions, and the heart is grateful. It's like giving it time to return to its ideal rhythm, away from constant stress. Have you noticed how, on very busy days, even feels like your chest is heavy? That happens because the body is in a continuous alert state, releasing hormones like cortisol, which raise blood pressure and harm cardiovascular health. Taking a pause is a simple way to interrupt that cycle. It's a reminder that we're not machines and that rest is also part of productivity. In fact, those who pause well live better and with more energy. Beyond immediate relief, taking frequent breaks improves blood circulation. When we spend too much time sitting or tense, blood tends to flow with more difficulty, increasing the risk of fat plaque buildup in the arteries. That's why getting up regularly and taking short walks at home or at work is such a smart move. These moments help blood flow more easily and keep the heart active without overload. Another advantage is that these breaks provide mental clarity. Constant mental stress can lead to poor choices, like eating badly, ignoring symptoms, or neglecting nighttime rest. With strategic breaks, you create space to reflect, get organized, and make better decisions for your overall health. A healthy heart starts with a balanced mind, and that only happens when you learn to respect your limits. Number 18. Keeping up with exams. Dr. Tanaka always reinforces a truth that many insist on ignoring. If you don't measure it, you can't control it. And when it comes to cardiovascular health, this becomes even more important. You might feel fine, without any apparent symptoms, and still have high cholesterol levels or signs of artery blockage. The body is wise, but often silent, and that's where medical exams come in as fundamental allies. Regular checkups are like flashlights that shine on what's hidden. A simple blood test can reveal a lot: total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, triglycerides, glucose, and even inflammatory markers. This data helps predict risks and adjust habits before the problem gets worse. Instead of waiting for signs like chest pain or excessive fatigue, which could indicate something more serious, it's better to act preventively. And prevention always starts with information. Did you know that, in many cases, the first symptom of a heart problem can be a heart attack? That's right, which is why it's essential to understand that it's not enough to just feel fine. You need to prove that everything is fine. Men and women over 40 should already be doing routine exams annually, or even every 6 months, depending on family history and factors like weight, blood pressure, and diet. Your heart's health cannot be left in the dark. Another advantage of frequent exams is tracking the results of your efforts. Did you change your diet? Are you exercising more? Did you add olive oil, garlic, or antioxidant-rich fruits to your routine? The tests will show if it's working. Seeing improvements in cholesterol or triglyceride levels is motivating and reinforces the importance of staying on the right path. Motivation to maintain good habits grows when the numbers improve too. In addition, exams like echocardiograms, stress tests, and carotid Dopplers can identify problems that a blood test doesn't show. They reveal how blood flow is, the condition of the arteries, and the strength of the heart. These more specific exams must be ordered by a doctor, which is why regular follow-ups are so important. Good health isn't a guess, it's measured, analyzed, and monitored responsibly. Number 17. Avoiding excess salt. During our conversation, Dr. Tanaka made a point to highlight something that many people still underestimate: the impact of salt on the cardiovascular system. And we're not just talking about the salt you add to your food with a spoon. The biggest danger lies in hidden consumption, found in processed foods, cured meats, ready-made seasonings, and even in daily bread. That excess sodium is one of the main enemies of arterial health. Salt, in large quantities, directly contributes to raising blood pressure. And when blood pressure rises, the heart has to work harder to pump blood, which wears down the heart muscle and damages the artery walls. That constant effort encourages plaque buildup and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. In other words, keeping blood pressure under control is one of the most effective ways to protect arteries, and that starts with less salt. Have you noticed how taste adapts over time? People who gradually reduce salt start to notice the real flavor of foods. And that's a powerful tip. You don't need to cut it all at once. Start by removing the salt shaker from the table, reducing the use of processed seasonings, and opting for natural herbs and spices, like garlic, onion, oregano, turmeric, and pepper. These ingredients enhance flavor and still bring benefits for circulation and the heart. Another trap is ready-made and ultra-processed foods. Sauces, powdered soups, canned goods, pickles, and even some breakfast cereals carry a surprising amount of sodium. Reading labels becomes an essential tool for anyone who really wants to take care of their health. Learning to interpret packaging and choosing products with low sodium content is a simple but transformative change in the long run. Dr. Tanaka explained something to me that stuck in my mind. Excess sodium is like sand in the gears of the circulatory system. It wears everything down over time. That image sums up well what happens inside the body. With less salt, arteries work more smoothly, blood flows more easily, and the heart suffers less. On top of that, fluid retention decreases, which helps reduce bloating and improve energy. Number 16. Adding fish to the menu twice a week. Dr. Tanaka always surprises me with the best tips. And this time he was straight to the point. Adding fish to your diet is one of the smartest decisions for those who want to protect their heart. And of course, not just any fish. Fatty fish rich in omega-3, like sardines, salmon, and tuna, are true natural medicines for the cardiovascular system. They fight inflammation, improve circulation, and help keep arteries unclogged. Omega-3 is a type of healthy fat that works like a lubricant for the arteries. It lowers bad cholesterol, LDL, raises good cholesterol, HDL, and, most importantly, lowers triglycerides, which are a direct risk factor for heart disease. Plus, it has anti-inflammatory effects, which are essential to avoid hardening and narrowing of the arteries, a condition that favors blockages and can lead to heart attacks or strokes. Have you ever thought that a simple dish could act as true protection for your body? A serving of grilled fish, twice a week, is enough to get all these benefits. And the best part is that these foods are versatile. They can be baked, pan-cooked with olive oil, or even made in stews with vegetables. The key is to avoid frying, so you don't cancel out the positive effects with unhealthy fats. Another point Dr. Tanaka emphasized is that omega-3 also has a regulating effect on heartbeats, helping to prevent arrhythmias. That means more stability and efficiency in heart activity. People who eat fish regularly tend to have fewer episodes of high blood pressure, chronic inflammation, and even anxiety symptoms, since omega-3 also benefits the brain. It's a health combo in food form. If fish isn't part of your routine, start gradually. Try replacing red meat at 2 lunches a week with baked sardines or grilled salmon. Besides being tasty, these dishes help diversify your diet and encourage new habits. For those who don't like the taste much, combining it with fresh herbs, lemon, or vegetables can make the preparation more enjoyable and balanced. The important thing is taking the first step. Number 15. Eating nuts and seeds. If there's one thing Dr. Tanaka does like no one else, it's simplifying health. And one of the most valuable tips he shared was about including nuts and seeds in your diet. These small nutritional powerhouses are rich in healthy fats, especially omega-3, which naturally protects the heart. They're also packed with antioxidants, fiber, and essential minerals that help keep arteries clean and healthy. Many people are still afraid of eating nuts because of their calorie content, but what few know is that, in moderate portions, they act as powerful allies in lowering bad cholesterol, LDL, and raising good cholesterol, HDL. That balance is key to avoiding plaque buildup in the arteries. The presence of phytosterols, natural compounds found in nuts, also helps block cholesterol absorption in the intestines. Have you ever tried swapping your afternoon snack for a handful of Brazil nuts, almonds, or walnuts? It's a simple change that can transform your cardiovascular health. Unlike ultra-processed foods that inflame the body, Nuts fight oxidative stress and reduce arterial inflammation. They are, therefore, a strategic choice for anyone who wants to take care of their heart with practicality. Another advantage of nuts and seeds is the presence of magnesium, a mineral that helps regulate blood pressure and relax blood vessels. This effect helps blood circulate more easily, reducing strain on the heart and lowering the risk of blockages. It's also worth highlighting vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects artery walls from damage caused by free radicals. The secret, according to Dr. Tanaka, is moderation. A daily portion, about 30 grams, is enough to get the benefits without overdoing the calories. You can add nuts to breakfast, as a fruit topping, or as snacks between meals. Another good tip is adding chopped almonds to salads or using nut flour in healthy recipes. The important thing is making it part of your routine. Incorporating nuts and seeds into your diet is a delicious and effective way to invest in your heart's health. They're accessible foods, easy to store, and don't require elaborate preparation. And as Dr. Tanaka put it, sometimes the difference between a sick heart and a strong heart is in small choices that fit in the palm of your hand. So, how about starting with a handful of health today? Number 14, managing stress. In our last conversation, Dr. Tanaka spoke firmly about something many still don't take seriously, the impact of stress on heart health. According to him, chronic stress is one of today's great villains. When we're constantly tense, anxious, or overloaded, the body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which raise blood pressure, increase heart rate, and inflame blood vessels. It's a dangerous combo for the arteries. That constant alert state harms circulation and contributes to fat plaque buildup. The arteries become stiffer, narrower, and the risk of blockages rises significantly. What few realize is that stress doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the entire body. It changes how the body processes fat, glucose, and even how blood clots. It's not an exaggeration to say that living stressed is like carrying a silent ticking time bomb in your chest. But the good news is that there are effective ways to control stress and reduce its effects on the heart. Deep breathing techniques are one of them. They help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation, slows heart rate, and lowers blood pressure. Just 5 minutes a day of conscious breathing is enough to change your physical and mental state and improve cardiovascular health. Beyond breathing, activities like meditation, yoga, walking outdoors, and even quiet moments during the day are key to relieving built-up tension. Creating small self-care rituals, like drinking a calming tea, journaling, or listening to relaxing music, also helps reduce stress levels. The important thing is finding what works for you and making it a daily habit. The heart thanks you for every moment of peace. Dr. Tanaka also warned that stress can lead to harmful habits, like eating poorly, sleeping little, drinking more alcohol, or even smoking. All of that makes the situation worse and speeds up artery damage. That's why managing stress isn't an emotional luxury, it's a physical and urgent necessity. When the mind is at peace, the body comes into balance, and health flourishes from the inside out, including cardiovascular health. Have you noticed how, in moments of calm, the body responds better? The heart beats more gently, breathing flows more easily, and even digestion improves. That's no coincidence. It's the body working as it should, without interference from an overloaded brain. That's why emotional balance is so powerful. It doesn't solve everything, but it creates the perfect environment for the body to regenerate and protect itself from disease. Number 13, quit smoking. Dr. Tanaka was emphatic when addressing one of the most destructive habits for the cardiovascular system, smoking. Smoking is, without a doubt, one of the most well-known and preventable risk factors for heart disease. Cigarettes release thousands of toxic substances that damage the endothelium, the inner layer of the arteries. This constant aggression opens the door for the formation of fatty plaques, which can block blood flow. When these plaques build up, the arteries lose their natural elasticity, becoming stiffer and narrower. The heart then has to pump harder to ensure blood reaches all the organs, which creates enormous wear and tear. This constant strain contributes to increased blood pressure and a higher risk of heart attack. And more than that, smoking doesn't just harm the arteries of the heart, but also those of the brain. eyes, legs, and kidneys. Another point Dr. Tanaka emphasized is that there is no safe level of cigarette consumption. Even those who smoke socially or only a few cigarettes a day are still putting their health at risk. The problem intensifies over time. Since the damage is cumulative, every cigarette smoked represents minutes taken away from healthy life. On top of that, passive smoking, when you inhale someone else's smoke, also affects the cardiovascular system. The good news is that the benefits of quitting smoking begin almost immediately. In 20 minutes, blood pressure already begins to drop. In 24 hours, the risk of heart attack decreases. And as months go by, the lungs and arteries begin to recover. In about a year, the risk of heart disease is cut in half. Quitting smoking isn't easy, but the results are worth every effort. Every relapse overcome. Every daily victory. You might be wondering, how do you quit? The first step is the genuine desire to change. After that, it's crucial to seek help from healthcare professionals, support groups, or even friends and family. There are nicotine replacement therapies, medications, psychological support, and natural techniques that assist in this process. Everyone reacts differently, and finding the right strategy can make all the difference. Dr. Tanaka often says that quitting smoking is one of the greatest acts of love you can give your heart. And it's not just for the heart, your lungs, your skin, your breath, your energy, and even your self-esteem improve. Living smoke-free is regaining freedom, the freedom to breathe better, to live with more energy, and to gain more years of quality life. And, of course, with much healthier arteries. Number 12, do stretches or yoga. In our conversation, Dr. Tanaka mentioned something that few people directly associate with heart health: stretching. Yes, that simple act of stretching your body can have profound effects on circulation. He explained that regular stretching improves the flexibility of blood vessels, makes blood flow easier, and reduces arterial stiffness. And all of this helps decrease the risk of blockages and cardiovascular complications. In addition to stretching, yoga is an ancient practice that unites body and mind and has gained recognition in modern medicine. Studies show that those who practice yoga frequently have lower blood pressure and a more stable heart rate. This happens because the gentle movements, combined with conscious breathing, activate the parasympathetic nervous system. This system is responsible for relaxing the body and slowing the heart down. You don't have to be an athlete or highly flexible to start. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day are enough to feel the benefits. Stretching upon waking, after work, or before bed can relieve muscle tension, activate circulation, and prepare the body for rest. These moments also help reduce stress levels, something that, as we've seen, is directly linked to arterial inflammation and the risk of heart disease. Dr. Tanaka also explained that yoga strengthens muscles without causing overload. As a result, the body gains better posture awareness, breathes better, and moves more efficiently. When you breathe deeply, you oxygenate the blood more effectively, and this oxygen-rich blood circulates more easily through the arteries, nourishing every cell with more vitality. This is reflected not only in the heart, but in all systems of the body. Many yoga exercises directly stimulate the lymphatic system, which helps eliminate toxins from the body. This reduces swelling and improves overall health, including cardiovascular function. The practice also encourages mindfulness, which helps maintain healthy habits throughout the day. A more present mind is an ally in making better food choices, reducing anxiety, and building a balanced routine. Have you ever tried doing a simple breathing and stretching sequence before bed? It may seem like a small thing, but your body notices. Muscles relax, thoughts settle, the heart beats more smoothly. These sensations, repeated consistently, become real protection for your circulatory system. And the best part, it's free, accessible, and has no side effects. All it takes is the commitment to take care of yourself. Number 11, avoid excessive alcohol. Dr. Tanaka made a point of highlighting the impact of excessive alcohol consumption on heart health. According to him, although some alcoholic drinks are seen as harmless or even beneficial in small doses, excess brings serious consequences. The liver, which is responsible for filtering toxins, suffers directly from alcohol, and when it gets overloaded, cholesterol and fat metabolism are impaired, which harms the arteries. Excess alcohol also raises triglyceride levels in the blood. This means more fat circulating in the body, increasing the risk of blockages in blood vessels. Frequent and uncontrolled consumption can lead to the buildup of plaques on artery walls, making blood flow harder. This forces the heart to work harder, raising blood pressure and paving the way for serious cardiovascular diseases such as heart attack and stroke. Another point Dr. Tanaka highlighted is the relationship between alcohol and inflammation. When you drink too much, the body enters a constant inflammatory state. This chronic inflammation affects blood vessels and speeds up arterial aging. The result? Less elastic arteries, higher risk of rupture, and poor circulation, not to mention the impacts on the brain, liver, and other organs that work in partnership with the heart. And there's also the behavioral factor. People who drink excessively tend to make poor food choices, sleep badly, neglect exercise, and increase stress. It's a cycle that affects all pillars of cardiovascular health. On top of that, alcoholic drinks are highly caloric, which contributes to weight gain, another factor that puts extra pressure on the circulatory system. The impact goes far beyond what most imagine, but the focus here isn't extremism. Dr. Tanaka doesn't advocate total abstinence, except in specific cases. What he recommends is conscious moderation. An occasional glass of wine, for example, may even offer antioxidant benefits. But this doesn't apply to all drinks or all contexts. The dose and frequency make all the difference. Knowing your own limits is a sign of self-care and respect for your body. Have you ever thought about how much you actually consume per week? Sometimes a social habit can become a dangerous pattern without us realizing it. If you notice it's hard to cut back or control, seek professional help. There are pathways, alternatives, and support for those who want to reduce alcohol consumption. It's not about guilt, but about responsibility with your own health. Your heart doesn't need alcohol to beat with strength and vitality. Number 10. Include antioxidant fruits. Dr. Tanaka often says that the best remedies for the heart often come from nature, and antioxidant fruits are a perfect example of this. Rich in compounds that fight cellular aging, these fruits help protect arteries from oxidation and inflammation. When our body is exposed to stress, poor diet, and pollution, it produces free radicals. Antioxidants are the soldiers that fight this silent attack. Among the most powerful fruits in this fight are grapes, strawberries, oranges, and blueberries. They are rich in flavonoids, anthocyanins, vitamin C, and other bioactive compounds that protect blood vessels. These nutrients prevent LDL cholesterol from oxidizing and sticking to artery walls, blocking plaque formation. By consuming these fruits regularly, you help keep arteries clean, flexible, and protected from damage. Grapes, especially purple ones, contain resveratrol, an antioxidant known to improve circulation and strengthen the vascular endothelium. Strawberries have anti-inflammatory properties, helping reduce arterial stiffness. Blueberries are a true heart protector, with high levels of anthocyanins that lower blood pressure and improve blood flow. Oranges, in turn, are an excellent source of vitamin C, which strengthens the immune system and fights inflammation. The secret lies in variety and frequency. Ideally, you should eat these fruits every day, alternating between them to ensure a full spectrum of antioxidants. They can be included in breakfast, snacks, or as dessert. Their vibrant colors aren't just pretty, they're a sign that they're full of nutrients. The more colorful the plate, the greater the benefit for the heart, and your taste buds will love this explosion of natural flavors. Dr. Tanaka also pointed out an important detail: industrialized juices don't replace fresh fruits. Often, these juices lose much of their antioxidants during processing and end up with excess added sugar. Always prefer whole fruits with their intact fibers, since they help control blood sugar and prolong satiety. Eating fruit is far more advantageous than drinking it in ready-made juice form. You can start today. In simple ways, add some grapes to your yogurt, prepare a salad with strawberries and leafy greens, or take a small container of blueberries to work. These small choices, made consistently, have a profound impact on the functioning of the cardiovascular system. Antioxidant fruits are like natural shields defending your arteries against the wear and tear of time and bad habits. Number 9. Add raw garlic to your diet. During our conversation, Dr. Tanaka shared one of the most surprising and effective tips to protect the heart: eating raw garlic every day. That's right, this simple ingredient, present in practically every kitchen, has an impressive power. When eaten raw, garlic releases a substance called allicin, which is responsible for most of its therapeutic benefits, especially for cardiovascular health. Allicin has a vasodilating effect, meaning it helps relax and widen blood vessels. This improves circulation and lowers blood pressure, making the heart's job easier. In addition, garlic has mild anticoagulant properties, which help prevent the formation of clots and keep blood flowing freely through the arteries. All of this contributes to the prevention of heart attacks and strokes, two of the main threats to the heart. Another important point is raw garlic's ability to fight bad cholesterol, LDL, and increase good cholesterol, HDL. Allicin prevents oxidized cholesterol from sticking to artery walls, reducing the risk of blockages. This effect intensifies when consumption is daily and consistent. It's no wonder garlic has been used for centuries in traditional medicine as an ally of the circulatory system and longevity. You might be wondering, how do you add raw garlic to your routine without making the experience unpleasant? The answer lies in creativity and moderation. 1 raw clove of garlic a day is enough. It can be finely chopped and added to a salad, mixed with olive oil and lemon, or even swallowed like a capsule after letting it rest for a few minutes. Once chopped, this waiting time activates the allicin and enhances its effects. Dr. Tanaka emphasizes, however, that garlic should not be seen as a magic solution, but as part of a set of healthy habits. Its effects are most noticeable when combined with good nutrition, physical activity, and stress management. It's also important for people with stomach problems or those taking anticoagulants to consult a doctor before consuming large amounts of raw garlic. If you're worried about the strong taste, try eating garlic with foods that soften the flavor, like avocado or plain yogurt. Another tip is to make spreads with raw garlic and herbs to use on whole grain bread or healthy toast. The important thing is consistency. This small habit can become a powerful shield against artery aging and blood vessel hardening. Number 8. Use olive oil instead of refined oils. Among the many tips Dr. Tanaka shared, one stood out for its simplicity and power to transform, swapping refined oils for extra virgin olive oil. According to him, this is one of the most effective substitutions we can make to protect the heart. Refined oils, like soybean, canola, and corn oil, go through industrial processes that strip away nutritional value and increase their inflammatory potential. Extra virgin olive oil, on the other hand, is rich in monounsaturated fats, the so-called good fats. These fats help reduce levels of bad cholesterol, LDL, and increase good cholesterol, HDL, contributing to the cleansing of the arteries. In addition, olive oil contains antioxidant compounds, like polyphenol, that fight free radicals and protect blood vessel cells from premature aging. When used regularly, olive oil improves artery elasticity, makes circulation easier, and reduces inflammation that can lead to plaque buildup. These effects are especially beneficial for people with a history of high blood pressure or high cholesterol. Olive oil acts like a natural lubricant for the arteries, keeping blood flowing more easily and the heart working with less effort. One of Dr. Tanaka's recommendations is to use olive oil raw, preserving its properties that are more sensitive to heat. This means drizzling it over salads, cooked vegetables, soups, and even finishing prepared dishes with a splash of olive oil. For cooking that requires heat, it's better to use other more stable fat sources, like coconut oil or even small amounts of ghee butter, without abandoning olive oil in the daily routine. Have you tried starting your day with a slice of whole grain bread with olive oil, tomato, and oregano? Or swapping out store-bought salad dressing for olive oil with lemon and herbs? These simple changes reduce your intake of processed fats and increase the presence of protective nutrients in your meals. Your palate also quickly adapts to the smooth yet distinct flavor of olive oil, making meals healthier and more enjoyable. Another important point is product quality. Dr. Tanaka warns that not all olive oil on the market is reliable. It's essential to choose trustworthy brands that offer cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, stored in dark bottles to avoid oxidation. Even a high-quality product should be consumed in moderation, respecting the ideal amount of 2 to 3 tablespoons per day. Number 7. Sleep between 7 and 8 hours per night. Dr. Tanaka often says that sleep is the most underestimated of all natural medicines. Sleeping well is not just about resting the body and mind, but also about regulating vital functions like hormone production, blood pressure control, and cholesterol balance. When sleep is insufficient or poor quality, the entire cardiovascular system suffers. It's like trying to recharge a faulty battery. It never works at full capacity. During deep sleep, the body performs essential tasks for recovery and heart protection. Heartbeats slow down, blood pressure drops, and arteries relax. This process is critical to prevent premature wear on the circulatory system. Sleeping too little or poorly prevents these stages from happening properly, keeping the body in a state of alert and chronic stress. Studies show that people who sleep fewer than 6 hours per night are at higher risk of developing hypertension, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Poor sleep also affects the production of leptin and ghrelin, hormones that regulate satiety and appetite, leading to increased consumption of calorie-dense, fatty foods. This chain reaction directly contributes to fat buildup in the arteries. Dr. Tanaka stresses that sleeping between 7 and 8 hours per night is ideal for most adults. Even more important is ensuring that this sleep is continuous and restorative. That means avoiding bright lights before bed, keeping the environment quiet and cool, and creating a nighttime ritual that signals the body it's time to rest. Swapping screens for books, avoiding heavy meals, and reducing evening caffeine also make a big difference. Have you noticed how a good night's sleep transforms the next day? Energy increases, mood improves, and even food choices tend to be more mindful. Sleep regulates brain function, metabolism, and strengthens the immune system. In other words, it's a key piece in maintaining overall health, including preventing premature artery aging and fatty plaque formation. For those who struggle with sleep, small routine changes can already help a lot. Practicing relaxing activities at the end of the day, like a warm shower, stretching, or meditation, helps the body unwind. Keeping regular sleep and wake times is also crucial for the biological clock to function properly. The important thing is to treat sleep as a priority, not as an optional item on the daily agenda. Number 6. Swap fried foods for baked or grilled ones. Among Dr. Tanaka's most practical pieces of advice, one stands out for its clarity and direct impact on the arteries, replacing fried foods with baked or grilled preparations. While many people think this change is small, it makes a huge difference in the amount of saturated and trans fats entering the body. And as we know, these fats are largely responsible for plaque formation in the arteries and increased cholesterol. When a food is fried, especially in reused or low-quality oils, it absorbs large amounts of oxidized fat. This fat damages the endothelium, the inner lining of the arteries, making it easier for cholesterol and other substances to build up into plaques. Over time, this can lead to hardening and narrowing of blood vessels, impairing circulation and increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. In addition, fried foods are usually highly caloric and low in nutritional density. In other words, they add weight without nourishment. This contributes to weight gain, another factor that puts pressure on the cardiovascular system. And more than that, fried foods are often paired with refined flours, excess salt, and artificial additives, creating an even more inflammatory scenario for the body. It's a true silent attack on the heart. On the other hand, baking or grilling foods preserves nutrients better and requires much less fat. The flavor remains delicious, and with natural seasonings, herbs, and spices, the result can be even tastier. Dr. Tanaka often says, the real flavor comes out when the oil doesn't steal the show. And he's right. By reducing fried foods, we rediscover the authentic taste of food. You can start with small swaps in your daily routine. Instead of frying chicken, try baking it with fresh herbs and vegetables, instead of French fries. How about rustic oven-baked potatoes with the skin on? Even recipes like fritters and breaded foods can be adapted for the oven or grill. drastically reducing harmful fat content. Creativity is a powerful ally in this dietary shift. It's also important to choose good kitchen tools to make this change easier. A high-quality non-stick pan or an air fryer, for example, allows you to grill or bake with minimal oil, keeping the crunchy texture many people love. Investing in these tools is investing in your health. After all, when arteries are clean, the heart works more efficiently and the entire body responds with greater vitality. Number 5. Consume more soluble fiber. Among the habits Dr. Tanaka most recommends to protect the heart, one of the most effective is increasing the intake of soluble fiber. These fibers, found in foods such as oats, apples, beans, and lentils, have the ability to turn into a sort of gel in the digestive system. This gel binds to bad cholesterol, LDL, and prevents its absorption, making it easier to eliminate through digestion. The result is a direct reduction in cholesterol levels in the blood. Soluble fiber also helps keep the intestines functioning well, which has a direct impact on metabolic health. A healthy gut better regulates blood sugar, improves insulin response, and contributes to reducing systemic inflammation. As Dr. Tanaka always explains, a less inflamed body is a body with more protected arteries. Fiber, therefore, works indirectly but powerfully for cardiovascular health. Another important benefit of soluble fiber is the prolonged feeling of satiety it provides. By expanding in the stomach, it reduces excessive hunger and helps control appetite throughout the day. This is key to avoiding overconsumption of fatty or sugary foods, which promote fat buildup in the arteries. In other words, consuming fiber is also a way to prevent harmful eating behaviors. You can include soluble fiber in your daily routine very easily. A bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, an apple as an afternoon snack, a plate of lentils at lunch, or beans at dinner already provide a significant amount. These foods are easy to find, affordable, and versatile in the kitchen. Small swaps, such as using oat flour instead of white flour, also help boost fiber intake without changing your menu too much. It's important to remember to increase water intake along with fiber. Without proper hydration, fiber can have the opposite effect. It can cause constipation. The balance between fiber intake and fluid consumption ensures that the digestive system works like clockwork, promoting toxin elimination and the absorption of essential nutrients for the body's overall functioning. Dr. Tanaka emphasizes that a diet rich in fiber is linked to lower rates of high cholesterol, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and coronary heart disease, and all this without drastic measures. It's possible to care for your heart with taste, simplicity, and natural choices. Soluble fiber is a true ally in daily life, working quietly to keep the arteries clean, less inflamed, and protected. Number 4. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Dr. Tanaka often repeats a phrase that really stuck with me: the heart loves movement. And one of the simplest and most powerful movements to boost cardiovascular health is within everyone's reach, literally. Taking the stairs is a daily activity that transforms the body from the inside. It may seem small, but this everyday gesture is a real workout for the arteries and the heart. When you choose the stairs instead of the elevator, you put your body into a mode of muscular activation that stimulates blood circulation. Each step requires effort from the leg muscles, glutes, and even the core, which helps the heart pump blood more efficiently. The climb increases heart rate in a controlled way, strengthening the heart muscle and training the body to work with better oxygenation. Besides being a light aerobic exercise, taking the stairs also helps control body weight. The more active your routine, the lower the risk of visceral fat accumulation, the kind that builds up around organs and is directly linked to heart problems. The habit of climbing stairs also improves stamina, balance, and even joint health, especially when done with proper posture and attention to movement. Have you noticed how many daily opportunities there are to skip the elevator? At work, in the mall, at home, or even in the subway. Each floor counts as a small dose of care for the heart. The secret is consistency. You don't have to do it all the time, but making it a routine choice contributes to increasing daily calorie expenditure and keeping the arteries more active and free of stagnation. Dr. Tanaka also points out that small physical activities throughout the day have a much greater impact than we imagine. The human body was made to move, and every movement helps keep circulatory health in balance. Taking the stairs is an example of incidental activity, the kind you do naturally, without needing extra time, special clothes, or a gym. It's movement built into real life. If you have difficulty or feel pain, start slowly. Climb one floor a day and gradually increase, always respecting your limits. People with joint problems should seek medical guidance first. But even in those cases, there are strengthening alternatives. The important thing is not to remain still. Each step climbed is one more step toward longevity and protecting your cardiovascular system. Number 3, walk daily. During the conversation, Dr. Tanaka made a point of stressing something many people still underestimate: the power of a simple daily walk. He firmly stated that walking between 20 and 30 minutes a day can transform cardiovascular health. And it's not just about burning calories, but about activating the whole body, improving circulation, regulating blood pressure, and strengthening the heart gently and effectively. Walking is a low-impact aerobic exercise, ideal for all ages. It improves blood oxygenation, increases lung capacity, and promotes a more balanced nervous system. The simple act of walking moves large muscle groups, which stimulates the heart to pump with more strength and regularity. This strengthens the heart muscle and lowers the risk of artery blockages. Another key point is that walking significantly reduces stress levels. The constant movement, combined with breathing rhythm and exposure to natural light, helps release endorphins, the feel-good hormones. This directly reduces blood pressure and helps prevent inflammatory processes. A body in motion is also a lighter mind and more protected heart. Dr. Tanaka often says walking is the daily health pill that doesn't need a prescription. Walking for half an hour equals a dedicated pause for yourself, a moment of physical and mental care. For beginners, there's no need to overdo it. Even 10 minutes of continuous walking already makes a difference. The important thing is to build the habit and make it part of your routine. Like brushing your teeth or taking a shower, you can add walking to your day in practical ways. Go to the market on foot. Take a stroll around the block after lunch. Or get off one stop earlier when using public transport. Small actions with great returns. The ideal pace is light to moderate, where you can still talk without running out of breath. Walking with friends, listening to music, or paying attention to nature are ways to make the moment more enjoyable. For those with physical limitations, Dr. Tanaka suggests adaptations. Short walks at home, in the yard, or even in apartment hallways are valid. The body responds to constant stimulation, even in small amounts. Over time, endurance improves, energy increases, and well-being becomes evident. And all this comes with the added benefit of naturally and continuously protecting the arteries. Number 2, drink plenty of water. In one of the most interesting parts of the conversation, Dr. Tanaka highlighted an essential but often ignored point: the importance of hydration for cardiovascular health. He explained that water is the main component of blood. And when the body is dehydrated, blood becomes thicker, making circulation harder. This strains the heart and raises the risk of clot formation, which can block arteries. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps the blood maintain its ideal fluidity. This makes the transport of oxygen and nutrients more efficient, reaching tissues and organs more easily, including the heart itself. Proper hydration also helps regulate blood pressure, since blood volume directly depends on the amount of liquid available in the body. Another point Dr. Tanaka highlighted was the relationship between water and toxin elimination. When the body is well hydrated, the kidneys work better, filtering the blood more efficiently and preventing the buildup of substances that can harm vascular health. Water also aids digestion, improves metabolism, and helps reduce inflammation, all of which protect the arteries. Many people confuse thirst with hunger and end up overeating when, in reality, the body just needs water. Staying hydrated throughout the day helps control appetite, preventing overeating that leads to fat buildup in the blood. In addition, proper water intake improves energy, concentration, and even mood, creating a positive cycle that encourages healthier and more conscious habits. According to Dr. Tanaka, the ideal is to drink between 1.5 and 2 liters of water per day. adjusting according to the weather, physical activity level, and individual needs. A good indicator is urine color, if it's light. Hydration is adequate. If it's dark, the body needs more water. And keep in mind that sodas, packaged juices, and alcoholic drinks don't replace pure water. You can create simple strategies to keep hydration on track. Carry a water bottle with you. Use reminder apps. Drink a glass of water upon waking up and another before meals. If you prefer, you can add lemon slices, mint leaves, or fruit pieces for natural flavor. The important thing is to make drinking water an automatic habit, just like breathing or eating. Number 1. Cut down on refined sugar. Among Dr. Tanaka's strongest warnings, one is repeated often. Excess refined sugar is one of the great silent villains of cardiovascular health. He explained that consuming too much sugar, especially the kind found in sodas, sweets, and processed foods, makes the body respond with constant inflammation. This inflammation damages the inner lining of the arteries, creating openings for fat plaques to build up. Refined sugar quickly raises blood glucose levels, which requires an intense insulin response. This constant insulin spike promotes fat storage, especially in the abdominal area. Visceral fat, in turn, releases inflammatory substances that directly affect the circulatory system. This creates a dangerous cycle: more sugar, more fat, more inflammation, and increasingly vulnerable arteries. In addition, excessive sugar intake is linked to higher bad cholesterol (LDL) and lower good cholesterol (HDL). This imbalance contributes to plaque buildup in the arteries and makes blood circulation harder. Another problem is that sugar stimulates the liver to produce more triglycerides, another type of fat that accumulates in the blood and further raises the risk of heart disease. Dr. Tanaka is clear in saying it's not about cutting all sugar from life, but about making smarter choices. Swap soda for sparkling water with lemon. Replace processed sweets with fresh fruit. And reduce sugar in coffee and recipes. These are simple but powerful steps. Over time, your taste adapts, and the craving for exaggerated sweets naturally decreases. Did you know sugar can be hidden in foods that don't even taste sweet? Sliced bread, ready-made sauces, packaged yogurts, and even breakfast cereals often contain added sugar. That's why reading labels carefully is key for those who want to protect their heart. Prioritize natural, minimally processed foods, and learn to recognize sugar's alternative names, like corn syrup or maltodextrin. By reducing refined sugar, you not only ease the burden on your arteries, but also improve energy, mood, and even sleep quality. The body functions better, digestion regulates, and metabolism returns to its natural rhythm. Energy becomes more stable throughout the day, without the highs and lows caused by glucose spikes. It's a change that positively impacts every system in the body. As Dr. Tanaka sums it up, the less sugar you consume, the sweeter the years you gain in life. Cutting down on refined sugar is one of the greatest gifts you can give your heart. It's not about giving up pleasure, but about finding balance again. And when the body finds that balance, the arteries flow freely, blood circulates with ease, and life pulses with more strength and health. And if you'd like to keep receiving the best videos for your health, subscribe to the channel, because it exists for only one reason: to make you a healthier person, with more quality of life. Helping you is my mission. In the video now showing on your screen, I reveal the number 1 hot drink that makes you sleep deeply and detox your liver overnight. Click on the screen and check out.